There are places in this world that are better left untouched, forgotten rooms, hidden away for a reason. And tonight I will tell you a story, one that still haunts those who dare to remember. This is the story of Ethan, a college student who moved into an old house for cheap rent. He thought he had found a great deal, but soon he would understand why no one stayed there for long. Ethan was never one to believe in ghosts, superstitions, fairy tales for the weak, he thought. But from the moment he stepped into his new home, something felt off. The air was heavy, thick with dust. The floorboards creaked beneath his feet, as if whispering secrets only the dead could hear. But the strangest thing was the door at the end of the hallway. It didn't match the rest of the house. It was old, weathered, covered in deep, jagged scratches, as if something or someone had tried to claw its way out. Curious, he reached for the handle, but it was locked, sealed tight. That night, as Ethan lay in bed, he struggled to sleep. The silence of the house was suffocating, and then, at exactly 3 a.m., he woke up. Knock, knock, knock. Slow, rhythmic, coming from the locked room. He sat up, his breath caught in his throat. Maybe it was just the pipes, an old house settling. That's what he told himself. But then, he heard something else. A whisper, software faint, almost like a child crying for help. Ethan grabbed his phone, turned on the flashlight, and stepped into the hallway. The knocking had stopped, the whispering gone. But as he turned to go back to bed, his heart froze. The door had new scratches on it, fresh ones. Determined to put an end to this nightmare, Ethan searched the house the next morning, and behind a loose brick in the fireplace, he found it. A key, a rusted, ancient-looking key that fit perfectly into the lock. With trembling hands, he turned it. The door swung open, revealing darkness. A room colder than ice, the air thick with the scent of rot. He stepped inside, flashlight flickering, and then he saw them. Tiny handprints smudged across the walls, and in the center of the room, a small wooden chair facing the corner. And then the door slammed shut behind him. Panic gripped him. He spun around, yanking at the door, but it wouldn't budge. His breath turned to fog in the freezing air. And then he saw it. A figure, crouched in the corner, motionless, facing away from him. A child, a woman, he couldn't tell. His flashlight flickered again, and the figure began to move. A slow, unnatural twitch, its head cracking as it turned, inch by inch, to face him. Hollow eyes, a gaping mouth, no lips, just darkness. Ethan screamed, slamming against the door, pounding his fists. His flashlight flickered, and in that brief moment of darkness, a voice right next to his ear. You shouldn't have opened the door. The next morning, Ethan's friends came looking for him. The front door was wide open, but the house completely empty. No sign of Ethan, no sign of the locked room. In fact, there was no door at the end of the hallway at all. Just a wall. To this day, no one knows what happened to him. Some say he was taken. Others believe he was never really there to begin with. But one thing is certain. If you ever find a forgotten room in an old house, never open the door. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more terrifying tales. And remember, some doors are meant to stay closed.